I once had a dream of living entirely green, but my year of living green quickly became a costly nightmare, as the reality of living on 100% renewable energy proved harder than I thought. There's a reason that despite over 40 years of developing renewable energy to prevent the known dangers of climate change, fossil fuels still account for the vast majority of energy consumption. Sadly, the low energy returns of electricity from solar and wind can't sustain, let alone grow, the global economy. Their current limited use is entirely dependent on fossil fuels for their manufacture and for backup power due to their intermittency. There are only enough lithium reserves to replace about half of today's cars with electric vehicles. And recycling rare earth metals would just lower energy returns even more. So green transportation would require biofuels or hydrogen fuel cells. Either would create an unsustainable drag on energy return as a replacement for oil, which makes up a third of world energy consumption. Nuclear doesn't have sufficient energy returns or uranium reserves to replace existing power plants for very long. While hydroelectric does have sufficient energy returns, like geothermal, it's limited to specific geographic areas, so neither can provide a global solution. With an overall energy return of just 5 to 1, the dream of green growth with clean energy is an unattainable fantasy. There wouldn't be enough surplus energy to run the world on renewable energy, let alone grow it. And there certainly wouldn't be any surplus energy left over to also remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere by technological means. Remember, it's no longer enough to simply stop emitting carbon. We actually have to remove some of the carbon we've already put into the atmosphere. Technological methods to do this are too energy intensive, especially with low surplus energy green sources. And using fossil fuels to remove carbon ends up putting more carbon into the atmosphere than is captured. Natural methods to remove carbon, like planting trees, is simply too little too late, especially now that wildfires have begun to accelerate. No amount of efficiency gains can overcome the fundamental physics of entropy, which is at the heart of low energy returns for renewables and high energy costs for carbon capture. Collecting disparate sun and wind energy over the course of a single day will never yield the same energy returns as easily accessing the millions of years of sun energy concentrated by geological forces into fossil fuels. Similarly, removing carbon from the atmosphere is like opening a bottle of perfume and then trying to capture all the scent molecules in the air to put them back in the bottle. Could it be that humanity's pursuit of infinite growth on a finite planet may finally be reaching its limit? If so, then could we change course and scale down society? Perhaps intentionally making it less complex and able to function despite lower energy returns? That's a question I'll explore in my next video.